When Hope Calls, of course, is the super popular spin-off of the beloved series When Calls the Heart, and it has already been embraced by our devoted fans, the Hardys. We love you guys. Joining us is the star of the series, Morgan Kohan. Welcome back, Morgan.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
You're beautiful.
You look amazing. The series is amazing. You play Lillian, of course, you and your sister on the series, Grace. You run an orphanage.
We do.
And as sisters, this is a really good fit for you guys. So tell us why that's the case, and also what's happening in this Sunday's episode.
Yes, so Grace and Lillian have been orphaned when they were children. So they have gone through many orphanages, understand that life. So this is very close for both of them. They want to be able to bring a home to these kids that they didn't necessarily have. So that's why I think they're such a good fit for this role in the world. And then in this episode that we're coming into, Lillian is helping to try and track down the grandfather of one of the children under her care. So it's kind of like her search for Grace that she went through. So it's very special for her, I think, and to have that hope and person to look for this young girl, knowing that it is possible.
And as viewers of the series, it's nice to get a little bit more of character background, too. You know, obviously, you did that search for your sister in the orphanage, and now you're doing the same sort. It helps to inform the audience a little bit about your character, which we love, we appreciate.
We do get a nice little bit in there, too, because Lillian happens to go to Clearwater to look for this grandfather with Gabriel. So they're off on a long horse ride to the next town, so they get to have a nice little chat, history.
And as a matter of fact, we have a clip of just that. Let's take a look.
So, when'd you start looking for Grace?
As soon as I finished school. My father just passed. So.
I'm sorry to hear that. Your search, did it last long?
Years.
Wow. That's determination.
She was out on her own by then, too. So I wrote letters, sent telegrams, put up posters. Sometimes I'd run out of money, so I'd take on a job until I had enough to continue my search.
Did you ever lose hope?
No, never. I knew I'd find her someday.
Where did you find her?
Small fishing village. I walk into a restaurant and there she is. We just looked at each other. We didn't have to say anything. Grace dropped her serving tray and just ran into my arms.
That's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, great scene.
Everything about this show is so authentic. I mean, the costumes are so authentic, which I want to get into in just a second. But did you ride horses before?
No, I didn't. That was my first time. I was so excited to do that, too. That's always kind of been a dream to be able to add that and to have that experience. Yeah.
You look so comfortable.
Yeah, you look very comfortable. Did they ask you if you rode before this?
They did. I said absolutely not.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good for you.
I think there's actors are meant to say kind of yes to everything. You don't want to lose
That's
out
exactly
on your job.
right.
But I do think being on a giant animal that could throw you off might be
Could be a health hazard.
So if that was me, I would have said yes, and then they would have me jumping over fences and things like that,
and you
I
would
would have
hurt
been
yourself.
Well,
the
I would have
insurance
learned.
policy on that. Didn't you learn from the time you told him you knew how to play tennis?
Yeah, tennis. That didn't go very well.
Story.
It's not my
No,
best.
they put him out there. He didn't know how to play tennis. You still kept the job though, which was
We'll
good.
tell that story another time.
But the costumes are also so gorgeous. And I know we talked about this before. You told me that once you put that costume on, it really helps you embody the character.
Yeah, it absolutely does. I mean, in my day-to-day life, prior to the show, I did not have the greatest posture, as I feel like a lot of people do these days. But having that, everything was so fitted and structured and held up. And I feel like that is such a part of Lillian and who she is. So that kind of just helps push you in that direction of the character and where they sit. And it's lovely, too, that the different costumes between Lillian and Grace really show the characteristics of both of them. Grace is a bit softer and not quite as structured and feels playful and light and feminine and fun, and Lillian's is more put together and held, but still feminine and beautiful and just very complimentary of the characters.
And I love how they were tailor-made for both of you. Yeah, they're really beautiful.
And people at home may not realize how big an impact, the costumes, what you're wearing, helps you kind of get into character, just like you alluded to there. But I was a little surprised to find out that your posture wasn't fantastic until you kind of got into some of these episodes, because you have a background in dance, of course, where posture is very important. A small town in British Columbia, everybody. You were very passionate about dance, and sometimes making a transition from a world like dance into the world of acting can be a little bit tricky. How'd you do it?
Yeah, it was a funny one. I didn't know that I was heading in that direction right away. All through high school and middle school, I danced. But I think the posture comes from I was a tall, lanky girl, whereas a lot of the people in my dance classes were small and petite. So you want to fit in and not be in the back all the
That
time.
makes perfect sense.
That's interesting.
So I think that's where that kind of fits in. But yeah, in my final year of high school, we did this beautiful trip to New York where I saw a musical on Broadway for the first time. I'd never really seen any big stage productions before, and that was mind-blowing. So I talked with one of my dance teachers who happened to have gone to this musical theater program in Toronto, and she was like, if that's something you want to go for, I think you are very well suited for it, you should look in this direction. So that's kind of, I looked it up and
Good for you.
decided that's the only thing I'm doing. Like, had no backup plans, and it happened to work out.
It's worked out quite all
Look at you
right.
now.
But you had to move all the way across the country to do this. How did your family feel about that?
Oh, they're so supportive. My family is the most wonderful, supportive group of people I could ever ask for. And we've also lived apart from each other a lot. My dad works overseas, so we are used to having distance between us, but still keeping a great communication and being very open with each other. So I think that definitely helped.
Yeah, for
And
sure.
I'm sure
it
they're
does.
so proud.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah. Oh, my goodness. They always send me screenshots of them. My mom does a watch party with all her friends for
Oh,
all the
really?
episodes. Yes, it's so much fun. And one week I got to go and join them. I was just like,
Oh my gosh, and
listening to
watch
all
them while
that.
they're
That
watching.
is
Yeah.
so
That's fantastic.
great. I mean, that
bet
makes
they got a
all the
kick out of
difference. We've
that.
said this before, but when your family's involved in what you do, just like that, especially as an
Yeah.
actress, that's a
Right.
very big deal.
Yeah.
Well, we want to leave everybody home with one final image of your past. So we're going to pop it up here. Take a look at this and tell us what in the world is happening here. That is stunning.
Yes. Well, prior to this, I had auditioned when I was looking more in the dance world to dance at the Moulin Rouge in Paris. Wow. And they were lovely enough to lead me to their final callbacks. I got close, but my left-handed cartwheel needed some work, I was told.
Oh.
That was the feedback? Your
That was-
left-handed cartwheel.
Yeah, they're like, work on your
Cartwheel, excuse me.
cartwheel and send us a video. And I just never did, so I feel like I knew that maybe that wasn't the way for
That
me.
wasn't for you.
But I somehow found my way to another dance group that had such extravagant, beautiful costumes and ended up dancing at weddings and like bar mitzvahs.
Is that right?
But I bet you've never had to use your left-handed cartwheel ever once.
You know, I
You know-
have not.
Okay.
You could tell people, can't you tell people that that was from Moulin Rouge? I mean, I would believe it. If you said that photo was from some place in Paris, I'd be like, oh, good for you. And the next time we have you on the show, we're going to do some left-handed cartwels.
Oh, great.
And I'm going to lead the way. I'm going to lead the way. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. However bad yours is, just wait till you see
It's 100 times
All
worse, for
everybody, get the family together this Sunday to catch the next exciting episode of When Hope Calls at 9, 8 Central, right here on Hallmark Channel, and visit our website for more information. Of course, also connect with Morgan on her social media page.